Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has introduced a 25% fare reduction on government-owned transport services. Additionally, he has announced that civil servants from levels 1 to 14 will now operate 3 days a week. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are the top 10 stories. At number 1, the federal government of Nigeria has imposed a ban on the exportation of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) in a bid to address the surging cost of cooking gas. The directive, issued on Thursday, instructs LPG producers and industry stakeholders to cease exporting the commodity. The move comes in response to the recent hike in the price of cooking gas, with the cost of refilling a 12.5 kg cylinder reaching approximately 18,000 naira in key cities like Abuja, Lagos, and Kano. LPG dealers, foreseeing this escalation, had predicted a rise to 18,000 naira mid-last year from the previous cost of less than 9,000 naira in November. At number 2, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has unveiled economic relief measures, including a 25% fare reduction on government-owned transport schemes. In a live media chat called Sanwo Speaks, he disclosed that civil servants from level 1 to 14 will now work 3 days a week, while those in levels 15 to 17 will miss work a day in a week. He added that teachers will maintain a 5-day work schedule, though additional transport support will be provided. The measures aim to ease financial burdens on Lagosians during challenging times. At number 3, the Trade Union Congress (TUC) has withdrawn its participation from the 2-day nationwide protest declared by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) over the high cost of living, inflation, insecurity, and hardship. TUC's Vice President, Tommy Etim, stated the NLC's unilateral decision and lack of collective agreement for the withdrawal. The Department of State Services (DSS) warned against the protest, expressing concerns that it could be hijacked. Meanwhile, the NLC President, Joe Ajero, accused the DSS of blackmail, underscoring the peaceful nature of the planned mass action. At number 4, the Defense Headquarters has underscored the need for the government to intensify efforts in creating conditions that deter individuals from engaging in terrorism. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Major General Edward Buba highlighted the importance of good governance and addressing unemployment to make terrorism unattractive to youths. He also provided updates on military operations, noting the neutralization of 286 terrorists, arrest of 244 suspects, and rescue of 122 kidnapped victims. Troops also recovered 2.9 million liters of stolen crude oil and destroyed numerous illegal refining sites in the Niger Delta region. At number 5, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) revealed that it recorded 411 confirmed cases and 72 deaths from Lassa fever across 21 states in the first 6 weeks of 2024. The number of new cases increased from 70 in week 5 to 83 in week 6, with 65% of cases reported in Ondo, Edo, and Bauchi states. The NCDC cited challenges including late presentation of cases, poor health-seeking behavior, and environmental sanitation issues. The agency urged preventive measures such as minimizing rodent exposure, safe food practices, and wearing protective gear when in contact with potentially infected individuals. At number 6, Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has expressed dissatisfaction with the Nigeria Police's handling of the arrest of the party's national chairman, Julius Abure, in Benin City. Obi criticized the arrest as undemocratic and called for a more respectful approach in line with the principles of justice. While highlighting the importance of upholding the rule of law, Obi stressed the need for officers to adhere to due process and respect citizens' rights. Abure and other Labour Party members arrested over allegations of attempted murder and conspiracy have been released, with the police denying claims of assault during the arrest. At number 7, Nigeria has seen a series of protests this past weeks against the rising cost of living in the country. Activists in Osun State staged a second peaceful protest in Osogbo decrying the current economic hardship in Nigeria. Led by Mr. Wahid Lawal, the protesters marched from Freedom Park through MDS Road to Olaila Junction, calling for action to alleviate the rising cost of living. Lawal specifically called on President Bola Tinubu to reinstate fuel subsidy, warning of larger protests if their demands are not met. Despite appeals from the organized labor to postpone the protest, the activists maintained their stance, reiterating the need for immediate government intervention. At number 8, the Nigerian Police Force headquarters have announced the lifting of the ban on tinted glass permits initially imposed in June 2022. Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi made this known in a press briefing in Abuja. The decision, aimed at improving national security while respecting individual freedoms, follows stringent measures including training for ICT analysts and enforcement officers scheduled for February 29, 2024. The new permits will feature QR codes, unique serial numbers, and digital holograms to bolster enforcement efficiency and security. The police force reiterates adherence to relevant laws, transparency, and accountability throughout the permit issuance process. At number 9, former Brazil international and football legend Dani Alves has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for the rape of a young woman at a nightclub in December 2022. The Barcelona court ruled that the victim did not consent, citing evidence beyond her testimony. Alves, a 3-time Champions League winner, was also ordered to pay 150,000 euros in compensation and placed on 5 years probation after serving his jail term. Despite testifying that the encounter was consensual, Alves has the right to appeal the decision. Finally, at number 10, the United Nations International Organization for Migration, IOM, on the second anniversary of the Russian invasion, reported that over 14 million people in Ukraine have fled their homes, with almost 6.5 million living as refugees abroad. Additionally, 3.7 million people remain internally displaced within Ukraine, while over 4.5